Jonathan's passion for the world of flowers is so evident in everything he does. He's worked as a freelance florist for 25 years. He's an ambassador for British Flowers and actively promotes British flower farming. He's a national demonstrator and a national adjudicator and instructor for floral demonstrations. So we've seen how to make lavish flower crowns. We've seen how to make flower crowns with our children, but we haven't learned how to make flower crowns for the furry friends in our life. Yes, your pet pals. So fingers crossed we can cross over to Jonathan now. Jonathan, are you there?
Hi Lisa, how are you?
Hello darling, I'm really good. How are you? Oh my
Fantastic,
God,
thank you.
I just got the
Yeah,
blood.
having a great day.
Look at that floral, fantastic phantasmagosia. Gorgeous.
Wow. Thank you, and so is yours. You look amazing.
It's the best day, isn't it? I'm having such a fun day. The first ever worldwide virtual garden party, and to celebrate Garden Day, which is fantastic. So you look great. The flowers next to you are stunning, and we're making flower crowns for the furry friends in our lives, right?
We are, yeah.
Because we don't want to leave them out. We don't want to leave them out.
Yeah, I'd be out there enjoying the garden, but the weather is just absolutely dire at the moment. It's really not too good. And it's blowing up a hoolie here in Derbyshire. So thankfully, I gathered flowers yesterday in gorgeous sunshine. It was so beautiful here. So I'm in my garden room today when I can look out on the garden and do what Garden Day is about, which is take time out to reflect, to enjoy, and to recharge our batteries, because as gardeners, we're so busy, aren't we?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's the essence of Garden Day. You know, it's about celebrating your green spaces if you're lucky enough to have them. You know, really realizing how that affects our mood and our well-being, and how it can just really have a shift in our sort of mental state. And then if you haven't got a green space like you've done here, you've brought everything in. It's about having beautiful things around you, creating that lovely green, bright, florally space within your home, whether it's a flat, an apartment, a balcony, wherever you live. You can bring that nature and that plant life in around you and celebrate Garden Day.
So true, Lisa. And for years, throughout all my career, I've been saying to everybody, flowers and gardening, it's accessible to everybody, wherever you are. Be it on a balcony, doing a window box, be it growing house plants indoors, maybe growing some cut flowers. You could put a grow bag in your balcony and just get out there and just surround yourself by this intrinsic beauty. But my two passions, flowers, obviously, you've guessed that, but my other passion in life are my pets. And I'm a real dog lover, a dog person, and I love being in the garden, ably assisted by my dog. So I think today, you know, we need to make a flower collar, because I wouldn't get my puppy, who's 8 months old, sadly, to wear a flower crown. That would be an enormous challenge that I would miserably fail on. But I thought we might be lucky enough to get her to wear a collar. So I'm going to show you a really easy technique. And I use this same technique for crafting my flower crown earlier today. And it's so easy just to get a thick piece of wool or rope or string, or even a length of washing line. You could just get some fabric and bind it onto fabric. I've even made flower crowns on a bin bag before. So just a roll of bin bags, and you can bind straight onto there. So if we're making a flower crown, Lisa, always better to leave a length of the material and actually tie it on, so you can sort of twist that around the back. So I'm going to start down probably about sort of 10 centimeters or so there. And I'm just taking some wire. And I know lots of our fantastic Flower Day friends might have not got a reel of wire to hand. But if you haven't got wire, then we can use alternatives. We can use cotton, we can use string, you can use twine from the garden, anything to attach it to. And all I'm going to do there is just bind that wire just straight onto the rope. And once we've got that attached there, we can start adding some plant material onto here. So I've selected plant material and sort of thought a little bit about what I've got in the garden that would be robust enough for a puppy to wear, because as I'm sure you can imagine, there's lots of scratching, there's lots of shaking, there's lots of jumping up. And my puppy at the moment, she's just discovered the delight of rolling on her back, all fours in the air, and having a belly rub. She absolutely loves it. So I'm sure Flower Crown will be decapitated in a moment.
I'm not sure the collar's going to last that long either with your little frisky 8-month-old puppy. What kind of dog is she?
Oh, she's a delight, Lisa. She's a rescue dog because I'm a great believer in adopt, don't shop. And all my life I've had rescue dogs. And I must just mention she's from Jerry Green Dog Rescue. And she's a German Shepherd cross Bull Mastiff.
Oh, wow, gorgeous.
Yeah, so quite an interesting cross. Yeah. And they said to us, oh, are you used to big dogs? Are you used to large dogs? Well, my last dog was a German Shepherd. The one before that was a German Shepherd cross. I said, yeah, absolutely fine. But she's actually turning out to be quite a petite little lady. So I'm not quite sure that they got the parentage 100% right.
You're like, not sure about that.
A bit of a mystery in there. We're not quite sure what she is, but we don't care because we adore her.
How many dogs have you got?
Just the one at the moment.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I was dogless for 8 months, which is the only time in my life I've never had a dog. But I was so devastated at losing my last pet that I couldn't bear to go through it again. So I sort of paused before getting another one. And then at Christmas, when my father was here with his 3 dogs, I thought, I can't live without a dog in my life any longer. I need a dog fix. So I wanted to look at the rescue centres to see what was out there. And yeah, we've started again. So she's the first. I'm sure there'll be more following.
I think so too. So
well,
are you going to cover this completely in flowers, or are you just going to keep a little flourish here on one side? What do you think?
I'm thinking sort of more full collar maybe to go all around there to ensconce around the neck.
Right.
And you know, Lisa, something that's really important if we're making a flower collar for our furry friends is to actually check that we're not putting anything in there that's poisonous, because particularly for younger animals and pets, they are inclined, of course, to have a nibble on it and have a chew on it. Yeah. So do be careful now. I would urge our fantastic flower day friends to do a bit of research before making a pet flower collar, and just check that they're not putting anything in there that's really toxic.
That is a really, really good point, an important point. Is there anything that you can think of that's jumping out that you just think is definitely poisonous for dogs that we shouldn't be using?
Yeah, I think definitely if you're doing anything for dogs, avoid things like lily of the valley, which are out in the garden now. Smells amazing, and you think, oh, you know, I'd like to pick some of that, use it, but don't. It's really toxic to dogs. Lupin's another thing. We've got things like aconitum a little bit later on, the monkshood, which is toxic to dogs. Lots of trees, things like yew, things like ivy, cherry trees. Again, lots of things that you think will be okay to work with. They're not. They're really quite poisonous. So we need to take care on that. If you're doing it for cats, then obviously avoid lilies. That's a really well-known one that affects cats. And also the houseplants that we've got around us, there's many of those which are poisonous to both dogs and cats. So things like Swiss cheese plants, for example, that's really toxic. The Dunkane, another toxic one, the Scheffler, the umbrella plant. So there's lots out there. Really good to do a bit of research, look on the dog rescue sites, Dogs Trust, things like that, Cat Protection League. They've got a great list of things that are toxic to our furry friends.
Okay, good advice, Jonathan. So, Jonathan, I wanted to ask you, who or what got you into gardening?
Oh, Lisa, it's a bit of a well-documented thing here now, but I was given a greenhouse for my 11th birthday.
I did read that.
It was life-changing. Yeah, everybody knows about Jonathan's greenhouse. It was life-changing, and that was my sort of own domain. And I ran it like a little mini-market garden, and I was supplying the local village shop, and all my parents' friends and work colleagues used to order plants. And I was the king of bedding plants in those days. And my granddad used to do all the flower shows, and I used to then go along with him to the flower shows. And he was a great one, you know, those massive big chrysanthemums and dahlias and roses. He used to show all sorts of things really successfully. But when I was older, I wanted to have a go. So I started doing the shows when I was about 12, and soon was winning prizes. But I was always a bit attracted to that sort of more feminine side of the show, which is that creative part for doing an arrangement or a buttonhole or a corsage. And I wanted to do that. So I was drawn towards the flowers always. And yeah, it was him really. He was a great gardener and he instilled in me my love of flowers.
Oh, I love that you had a market garden at 11 and people were coming to you to buy all of their plants.
I know, it's crazy really, but you know, I think it's a really good thing, that, Lisa, and a great lesson for people to learn, and for our young people who are joining us today at Garden Day, or for parents who are listening, and encourage children to garden, because it's absolutely great for them. But also, and I think the RHS do a fantastic job of this as well, get that message out there that there's a career to be had, you know, a fantastic career. And it's really well documented, and people like myself who have worked in floristry and gardening for all their professional career, you know, we are among some of the happiest people out there, because we have the most amazing job. We're working with stunning plant material day in, day out, and we feel totally blessed by that. We're at one with nature, we're touched by seasonality, so we're really, really lucky.
Yeah, no, I read that. It's like, you're right. It's like you're the happiest, that's the happiest profession out there, regardless of, you know, like there's these high, you know, flying, traveling jobs paying lots of money. And it's like the gardeners, the florists, the people that are in nature, working with plants, working with flowers, are the calmest, the happiest. And I'm quite frankly very jealous. I think I need to change professions or just get out of my garden more. I don't have the skills you have.
Oh, Lisa, don't worry about it. But, you know, I think anybody can sort of get happiness and pleasure from being around flowers and plants, and by going on workshops and courses. Normally I'd be at RHS Malvern Flower Show, the final day of wonderful RHS Malvern, which I know is budging up with Garden Day today and linking across from their virtual show that's happening. And when I'm at the flower shows, and I would have been there all week, you meet such amazing people, and people come along and chat to you and tell you stories about the garden. And there's always a dialogue to be had there. Everybody's got something to say, something to share. And plants people, I always find, are really giving. The giving of cuttings, of cut flowers, and giving of gifts from the garden, but they also give of themselves, and they've always got time to give. And they always want to take a little bit of time out to ask what you've been up to, ask if you need any help. They want to volunteer, they want to get involved. And usually at the flower shows, you know, I'm doing quite big things, big installations. And I'm so blessed by the amount of amazing people who say, oh, Jonathan, can I come and help you? I'd love to get involved with that. You know, I'll give my time to you, I'll come along, just let me have a go, let me make something. And what is fantastic, I've been teaching now for about 27 years with floristry, is all the people who have gone on to have flower businesses, flower shops, to go on to demonstrate, to lecture, to pass that skill on. And it's so nice to see people's lives change through flowers. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. You know, I'm just watching you working away there, and you're not even really looking at what you're doing. You're just chatting to me. You're doing it without actually looking. How is that?
Possibly people are thinking, yeah, you can see you're not looking there, Jonathan. But
I think it looks great. I was just watching you thinking, chatting away, picking up, just twisting. I'd be like concentrating just a little bit more. I guess you've done it a few hundred times before.
A few hundred times. And I also think, you know, working with flowers, for some people, it's almost, I think our blood's replaced by sap running through our veins. And it's what makes us us, it's what we are. And I just think with flowers, you know, when I'm doing flowers, I just feel immersed in it. And this is second nature to me. And I just want to just sort of share how much love I get from it with other people that are out there. But you did mention one thing earlier, and something that I am really passionate about, and that is British flowers. And now is the time, you know, for people to support our British growers more than ever. Because it's not only our amazing nurseries who grow the fantastic plants that we would normally be buying from shows like RHS Malvern Spring Festival, it's also our British flower farmers. And we've got our large-scale flower farmers who have got massive crops out there that need consumers buying them. So, you know, as shops do start to open up again, and certainly from supermarkets, try and buy some seasonal British blooms. And I've got something that's back in season now. And these, Lisa, these are the British Sweet Williams, and they're absolutely beautiful. That Dianthus barbatus, it's a classic. It's been around in different derivations from Elizabethan times. And Sweet Williams, you know, they're about £1.50, £2 a bunch. They'll last you for 3 weeks. So not an expensive flower to go out and buy. We've got British stocks out there. Smell sweet, succulent, will fill a room with that gorgeous fragrance. So buy some British stocks. And then in a few weeks' time, we've got the British peony season starting. Oh, and the peonies, they're the divas of the flower world. And I know there's loads of peony fanatics out there. So, yeah, so please do support our wonderful British flower growers and buy some British blooms.
I was going to ask you, do those Sweet Williams, do they smell as good as they look? Because they just look divine.
Oh, they're so rich. They've got a really musky scent about them. And as I'm working with this, Lisa, I do wish you could press a button, and I think Zoom must introduce this, so we can get smelling. Absolutely. Because I've got a selection of herbs in here as well. I've got marjoram, I've got some mint, I've got this wonderful cotton lavender here, Santolina. Smells absolutely intoxicating. I've got rosemary in here. So it's a real abundant, fragrant feast. So, you know, if you've got a dog like mine, this naughty little puppy that I've got, who likes to go out and sometimes roll in things she shouldn't, then I think a fragrance flower collar is the antidote to those offensive smells.
That's so exciting. Are we going to be able to see, what is your little dog called? What's her name?
Yeah, she's called Allegra.
Allegra, wonderful.
Allegra, yeah.
So I'm nearly... have like a sort of ceremony at the end of this.
Yeah, well, I'm making this one, and I thought, you know, I might sort of have to get Allegra involved in it. Now, this is like that bit where they say, you know, don't work with children and animals, isn't it? It could sort of work, or it could fail miserably. So I've made this flower collar, which is probably a bit too long for going around her neck, really, because I've worked and spoke and just got on with it, basically. But we'll see if I can get, should I go and see if I can get Allegra?
Yes, we have to see Allegra. We've heard so much about her. I want to see this beautiful dog.
Let's see if I can get her. I might just go and grab her.
We'll be patient. We'll be patient.
Back in a minute.
Yes, absolutely.
Hello.
Allegra's coming. Oh, Allegra, you already have a flower collar on. You lucky.
She's got her flower collar on. How can we see? Yeah, there she is.
Isn't she gorgeous? Hi, Allegra. Everyone wave at Allegra.
Hello, there she is. Yay.
Oh, she's gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful.
She's a very kissy flower dog, very kissy flower dog. And I thought it was brilliant, Lisa, as well, that somebody who is a flower follower through social media, who's been watching my workshops earlier for Flower Day, Amanda Punter, she made 2 flower crowns for her dogs.
Yes.
For Russell and Watson, and she won one of your fantastic prizes. So, Amanda, you did really well.
She took a selfie. Everybody saw it. It was fabulous of the little dog, and then she got so excited when she won the prize that the crown flew off. But it
fell off. I know. Well, this one's got a collar on anyway, as you can see. So I might just give her a little treat to reward her.
Very good, Allegra. You are such a good girl.
I know she's been very good, but not always this good, believe me. So we can make flower collars, we can make flower crowns for pets, for people. And I don't know how you feel, Lisa, but I think it would be absolutely brilliant if people started wearing flowers more during this sort of troubled time that we're going through. And although we need to social distance and social isolate, if we just put a flower on our collars, on our shirts, or wore a flower on our wrist, I think it'd make people smile a lot more as they walked around. So let's bring back wearing flowers.
It's such a good idea. And now we've all got our flower crowns. They're going to last us hopefully for, a few more days at least. If we look after them, we keep spritzing them and like try and kind of keep them as long as we can. I think it's a great idea on that hour's walk that we can go out and enjoy out on our walk, but we can also catch other people's eyes and they'll see us in our flower crowns and it will literally make people smile. Some might laugh, a lot will smile. So I think a little trip down the supermarket, flower crown on.
Absolutely. It's the must-have headwear or the floral decoration of the moment. And you know what? When I'm at a show, I always have flowers in my hat or around me somewhere. And I get some sort of whimsical looks or some whimsical smiles. But most people smile and say, oh, how lovely. You really look so happy. You look so cheerful. So that's what flowers can do. Wearing flowers can cheer us all up during these troubled times. And I think Garden Day has just been the most happy, uplifting, joyous occasion. And I've been watching some of the earlier presenters, some of my amazing colleagues who have been out there, and everybody's got that gift to give. And we all have different ways of working and different flower choices. And be it just a few things gathered from a hedgerow or just a few flowers that you cut from your favourite house plants, just enjoy them and celebrate them. And we're so lucky to have this amazing nature around us.
I know, we really are. And how lucky are we now to have Garden Day? You know, we're going to have this forevermore. It's the first one. It's definitely not going to be the last one. We should celebrate every year all together. And fingers crossed, we can, if we are doing this again on Zoom next year, we can introduce some kind of smell-o-vision. So we can all get those delicious smells of all those flowers and those herbs that you've got right there in your amazing flower collar. It's so gorgeous. Thank you, Jonathan, for taking the time. I was going to ask you what your favourite flower was, but it's like asking somebody which one is their favourite child. It's a really tricky one, isn't it?
It's a damned hard one, really. It's like looking in a box of chocolates that you first open, you don't know where to pick. I'm completely fickle, Lisa. Ask me one day, I'll give you one answer. Ask me another day, I'll give you another. My favourite flower at the moment, so if we go to one of the moment, then it has to be this viburnum, which I absolutely love. The snowball viburnum. It's like a fun thing. It's like making pom-poms when you're a kid and putting them on a woolly hat. And I like the way it starts lime green and then it matures to cream and white. It's gorgeous. It's so heavenly. But all my flowers they're just like my family members. They're my passion.
Oh, I love that. And I just wanted to ask, so now you've made that amazing collar, and Allegra actually already has one. What else could you do with that? So if we are going to make a flower collar, and then once the dog, you know, at the end of the day, we take it apart, where can we put it? Could we could drape it on a mantelpiece? You could put that anywhere, couldn't you?
It's absolutely, Lisa, because this technique of binding and garlanding that I've used here, we can use this at any time. So if you've got a party coming up or a celebration, then you could use this to decorate and put garlands and festoon through trees or around a marquee. I'd use this same technique at Christmas time when I'm putting a garland over the mantelpiece, or I wanted to twist it and swag it up the banister or around beams. But what's good about this, most of the things that are in here will actually dry off. So all the herbs will dry, the sweet william will dry, the pink cow parsley there, that will dry. I could actually just leave that, you know, place it in the kitchen, just let it dry off. I might want it as a succulent aromatic treat to have perhaps in a bathroom or a downstairs toilet, and you've got all those fragrances in there. But I've got my flower crown on. Allegra's got her flower crown on. We do need to go for a dog walk at some point. I might even be able to twist my partner's arm to put this flower crown on him.
I love that idea. Take a picture, post it, tag us. We want to see that later. Jonathan Moseley, thank you so much. You are a dream. Thank you, darling. Have a wonderful rest of the garden day. And
Happy garden day.
Cheers to you,
Cheers to you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.